Hey guys, welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. We just got done with the trade deadline. We got Troy Terry at 86 overall. We got Cole Smith at 84. And we got Freddie Anderson in goal at 88 overall. So now it's time to find out, were these trades worth it? So after the trade deadline, we sit in that first wild card spot. The Kraken have the second. We have a decent lead on the Winnipeg Jets and the Utah Hockey Club, as well as the Seattle Kraken and the San Jose Sharks. So right now we are in a good position, but it's all going to come down to what we do to close out the season, right? So another thing I went ahead and did before recording, as you see, we have a +1 with Vlasic and Jones now. And this is no longer a -1. And that's because I went in and I got Seth Jones to agree to the scheme fit, so he fits the first pairing. So I think with the +1, I still want to keep Vlasic up here until maybe we get Korchinski to agree to it. Because if you remember last time I tried with Korchinski and Vlasic, they both said no. And I still have to wait a little bit before I'm able to do that conversation option again with the two players here. But nothing left to do now. All we can do is hope that the trades worked out for us and that we can make a push for the playoffs. So we're going to go ahead against Nashville. Freddie Anderson and Troy Terry making their debut. Smith, I decided I'm going to just bring in for injured players. He's a good, reliable player to bring in. I think our team has earned the right to try to make a push for these playoffs. The guys that have been playing, I think they've earned that right. I'm not going to take Nick Foligno or Taylor Hall out for Smith right now, just because our team's been playing pretty well. Aside from this last losing streak here, we've done well enough to get ourselves into that first wildcard spot, and I'd like to see the team continue to play well together. So we're going to go ahead, do what we've been doing, take it week by week. We're going to include this Nashville game into this week here. So we got Nashville, Colorado, San Jose, and Vancouver. Let's get going with this first game up against Nashville. It's going to be a 4-1 loss to Nashville, followed by a 7-3 win against Colorado. That's a huge win against Colorado. San Jose now, 6-2 win. That's Rockford. We're not worried about Rockford right now. Going up against Vancouver. Vancouver's a hot team. We're going to get the 5-3 win against Vancouver. So we get 3 in a row after losing 4 in a row. That loss against Nashville hurts in those guys' debuts with the team. But you look here, we are in a divisional spot now. So that for us is massive. All right, let's go ahead, get this game against Seattle at home, LA at home, and then we travel to St. Louis to take on the Blues. Here we go. Game up against Seattle. Rockford, we're not worried about Rockford right now. Not worried about the players down in Rockford. Sorry, Rockford, but we're trying to make the playoffs here in the NHL. Seattle, that's a 3-2 overtime win. LA Kings, that's a 5-2 win. St. Louis, that's going to be a 4-1 loss. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game win streak before falling 4-1 to the St. Louis Blues. We're still in that wild card spot. We got a pretty decent lead on the Jets. We got a pretty decent lead on the Seattle Kraken right now. We're doing okay, but we need to keep winning. Philly, New Jersey, Vegas, all at home. Here we go. It's going to be a 3-1 win against Philly. Rockford player, Scanlon's injured. Not worried about Rockford right now. Game against New Jersey at home. Here we go. 4-0 shutout win. There it is. Vegas. That's a 5-2 loss to Vegas. So we were able to get a couple of wins there. How are we holding up? Still in a wild card spot. Still tied with Dallas. And we got a pretty good lead on the Jets. We got a pretty good lead on Seattle. We're looking okay right now. But again, we have to keep winning. Utah, Colorado, both at home. And then we travel to Washington to take on the Washington Capitals. Here we go. We need these. We need 2 of these to be wins here. Game against Utah. That's a 4-3 win up against Utah. That is a 3-1 win versus Colorado. And that's a 4-0 loss to the Washington Capitals. Okay, we're still in a wild card spot. Not a huge lead on the Jets. We got to keep winning. We have to keep winning here. Man, Kraken have that second wild card with 82 points. We got to win here. We got to win 3 of these games. I'd feel comfortable if we win 3 out of the 4 games this week before ending it off on this back-to-back. That back-to-back is going to be tough. All right, back-to-backs are always tough. So we got Pittsburgh at home, then we travel to Pittsburgh, and then we go to Boston, and then we come back home to take on the Jets. That could be a huge game. Matter of fact, we're going to go right up before the Jets. 3 games. Pittsburgh first. 6-3 win over the Penguins. 3-2 overtime win versus the Penguins. And then a 3-2 loss to the Boston Bruins. But you see there, we have clinched a playoff spot. We are going to the playoffs. We have earned our spot at the dance. Beautiful. Beautiful. Winnipeg is just competing with Seattle now for that last wild card spot. That's all they're doing. We're in. We are in the playoffs. In year number 1. That's huge. That is huge. All right, game against Winnipeg here. Still want to win. I'd rather have that divisional spot. I really would. 5-3 loss to Winnipeg, and they're going to get a new wild card spot there. It's coming down to it here. Man, we are 5 points off. We have to win both our games, and they have to lose their last game. So they got 1 game left. If we could win both games and they lose, I mean, we need some help, but we could get that divisional spot. We could get that divisional spot. It is a possibility here. I'm liking that. Real quick before we get into this back-to-back. How has Freddie Anderson done for us? Now, I'm a little upset, and I'll tell you why. So I had recorded this already, right? OBS crashed while I was recording. And we had gotten much, much better from Anderson. I mean, we had the same save percentage from Anderson, but in 15 games he went 12, 2, and 1. So I am a little upset. It made the trade look absolutely unbelievable, but OBS crashed. I had to redo it from the trade deadline. So I am a little upset. But he has the same save percentage, and he actually got a shutout this time, and he did not have a shutout last time. It's just the wins. It's just the wins. It's just upsetting. And we were in a divisional playoff. So anyway, whatever. I'm getting off track. This is now. That was then. We're focused on now. We've clinched a playoff spot still. Things are still looking good for us. We're okay. We are okay. And I apologize. I'm still figuring out this recording with OBS, and I'm brand new to this. All right, I apologize, but I didn't want to just continue and not redo it. I had the file saved at the trade deadline after we made the trade, so I was able to go back. So I wanted to do it because it did crash, but it was a little upsetting because it was a perfect end of the season, and unfortunately we had to redo it here. But no time to complain. We are in a playoff spot still, and we're looking good. And like I said, he has the same save percentage anyways. Bedard has 1 less point than he did last time, and Troy Terry has 2 more assists, but 2 less goals than he had last time. Same amount of points. But yeah. So here we are. We got 1 more back-to-back left. 2 games to finish out the season. I'm hoping Freddie gets this one, and then Soderblom gets the second one to finish out the year. But I really would like to get into that 3rd spot. Swaz back. Best lines down in Rockford. That's okay. All right. Let's go ahead and play our game here against Montreal. And we're going to lose. All right, so we're going to be in a wild card spot. That's okay. It is what it is. And our last game here against Ottawa is a 3-2 overtime win. So 95-point season. We finished as a wild card team. We got the first wild card. Jets ended up clinching as well, so it makes sense as to why they did not want to give us Ehlers at the trade deadline. I'm glad I decided not to push for him, and ultimately went with Troy Terry again instead, and he's been a pretty decent fit here. I think it does kind of hurt Connor Bedard that he doesn't have a solidified playmaking winger on his team, because Troy Terry and Connor Bedard are both snipers, so I think that could hurt the point potential for Bedard. So we might have to change that. We might have to see if Troy Terry, I mean, he's only scored 21 goals. I'm hoping he'd be willing to change to a playmaking forward, or maybe we could get Bertuzzi to go from a two-way forward to a playmaking forward. But we need somebody to be a playmaker for Bedard, right? Whether that's trading, or not trading, but changing one of these guys' play styles here, or bringing in a new player next year to play on the left or right side of Bedard. But Troy Terry, 86 overall. I like what he gives us going into the playoffs. I think that is excellent. And as for Freddie Anderson, 4 shutouts. He finished with a 919 for us, 8-6. Man, he had better stats before. A shame that happened, but here we are. We're in the playoffs, and we've given ourselves a chance. Now, I do want to look. Lucas Reichel up to an 81. Beautiful. That is really good. Really, really good. Vlasic still 83. Korchinski 85. Beautiful. Go down here. Lev Shunov still a 79. It's okay. And then I do want to check Nazar, still an 81. That is perfectly fine with me. And how about Comesso, still a 76. 916 save percentage, 13 wins, 2 shutouts. You'd think his overall would go up, but I doubt it. It is EA Sports and it is goalies, and EA Sports does not like goaltenders. But anyways, that is going to have to do it for this episode. Alright, before anything happens, let me go ahead, let me create a new save file and get this saved before anything happens with either OBS or the game itself. This game has crashed on me multiple times, so yeah, let's actually go ahead. Let's see who are we going to be playing. Let's take a look at the standings. So we're the wild card 1, right? So it looks like we're going to be taking on the Oilers. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers. Brossoit has been injured again. Okay, that's Rockford. We're okay right now. We're just getting ready for the playoffs up here in the NHL. That's all we're doing. Alright, NHL season complete. I think it's the Oilers, right? Edmonton Oilers. Chicago Blackhawks versus Edmonton Oilers, round number 1. We have to find a way to deal with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. You see there, Draisaitl with 120 points. That is going to be tough, but that is going to absolutely wait till next time. Thank you for tuning in. If you did watch the video, please leave me some suggestions if you have any. If you have any knowledge about recording or editing, if you have any tips, any advice. I'm brand new to this, man. I very much so appreciate it. But anyways, if you did watch, if you did stick to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I appreciate the support, and I'll catch you guys next time.